Hey guys, we have the new moon at 4 degrees of Virgo happening on August 27th at 1:16 a.m. Pacific, which would be 4:16 p.m. Eastern. Check your local time to see when this lunation is occurring for you. We're at the last new moon of the summer season, and in terms of planetary energies, this is a rougher Virgo new moon than normal. This new moon in itself has some transits that are going to be a bit uneasy in terms of starting anything in Virgo energy, so this could be a moon where things feel more complicated than normal, and it could feel like a rougher start than normal if you are trying to create anything in Virgo energy. And the vibes on the graph are absolutely reflecting this. Solitude is the highest energy on the graph, and it is peaking from the 27th to the 29th. So during this lunation, we could want some time to ourselves, we could want some time to reflect, we could need some space, especially with the edgy energy going on and the emotional sensitivity that's connected with this solitude energy that's also going on from the 27th all the way till the 29th. Intersecting that is ambitious energy. So even though it may be a time where you need to be by yourself, this might be a productive time for you. Although some of that ambitious energy declines as we get to the 29th, that could be a point in time where you might experience a little bit of burnout because of some of the energies. Around the 27th, there's a little bit of social energy. There's some emotional sensitivity mixed in with that, and there's also a bit of romantic energy. So it could be a day that's conflicting as we go through the first period of this new moon phase. Sometimes new beginnings aren't as easy, and with this new moon, if you are trying to start anything new in Virgo energy, something fresh in Virgo energy, this might feel in a way daunting, but in a lot of ways, it's very, very doable. And Virgo energy is about doing the hard work so that way we can come out on the other side an expert and earning all the benefits from our hard work and efforts. So think about what you'd like to start in Virgo in the next 6 months. By the time we get to the full moon in Virgo, which will be about March 7th of 2023, think about what kind of Virgoan themes you'd like to create in your life. How would you like to perfect your life? Is there anything you're trying to do regarding self-improvement? Because Virgo is a sign of making things better, are there situations and things you're looking to tweak in your life? Are you looking to improve your habits? Because Virgo has a lot to do with our habits. Are you looking to become better when it comes down to your routine? Are you looking to become more of a regimented person? Are you looking to improve your diet? And I reference the diet part in a way where it doesn't always have to be weight loss. It could be just changing up your lifestyle and eating better. But if it is that for you, then this could be a period where you're trying to start something so that way you are feeling healthier and fitter for yourself. Are you trying to improve your mindset? Virgo, being a Mercury ruled sign, has a lot to do with what's going on in our mind, and so this could be a period where you're doing things like mind hacking, or you're trying to improve your mindset so you get to a point where you have a healthy and more balanced way of thinking. But this can be a period where you're looking to practice more mindfulness in your life. Are you wanting to become more focused? Virgo energy is also great for that with regards to our mind, because it has a lot to do with being able to maintain focus on the details, being able to maintain focus on what's important. Let's face it, a lot of us can be scattered sometimes, and that's not helping us. It's actually causing more harm than good a lot of the time, especially when it comes down to stuff that you have to really pay attention to the details with: documents, work, things that you're putting on the internet. Even if you're just putting a selfie on the internet, sometimes you might mess up the caption, and things like that happen just because you're scattered and not paying attention to what you're doing. So this could be a period where you're wanting to focus on those things. This could be a period where you're wanting to learn how to be more focused and pay attention to one thing at a time, pay attention to what you need to create or work or things like that. And with this, also being more observant. Are you wanting to become more observant? Are you wanting to be more perceptive? Are you wanting to be able to see every detail about a situation? This ties in with being scattered again, and a lot of the times we don't see things for what they are because of those reasons. Virgo has a good eye, and if you're wanting to learn how to work on that and adopt that quality, this could be a time to do so. Being observant saves us from a lot of trouble and drama. And for this reason, it's a great quality to adopt for ourselves because it gets us out of trouble. And then there could be situations where we're not observant enough when it comes down to people. We're not observant enough when it comes down to opportunities. We're not observant enough when it comes down to some of our own behaviors. So this could be a period where you're learning how to do that, and it's helping you balance your life out better. And speaking of observations, are you wanting to become more discerning when it comes down to things? Being discerning is a Virgo gift, and it may not seem like it It may seem to other people, that they're being overly picky about things and overly choosy about things. And of course, obviously that can get unhealthy. However, with the Virgo energy, that gift of discernment gets them out of a lot of bullshit. When you look at things for what they are, it saves you a lot of trouble and it saves you a lot of time. We can't accept everything. We can't accept everybody. Not all situations are good for us. Not all foods are good for us. Just because something works for someone else doesn't mean it's going to work for you. And sometimes using that Virgo power helps you get yourself out of situations that might end up being uncomfortable. If it's a relationship situation, this prevents you from getting into a bad relationship. You're seeing the person for who they are. You're seeing the trouble that can arise maybe months down the line, and you're backing out for that reason. If this happens to be a job situation where you're seeing you and this company are not a good match, or you're seeing that there's certain holes in what they're telling you, or you're feeling as though before you get in, they may bait and switch you, that gift of being able to see things for what they are is really helpful. I mean, if you're looking at an apartment or a house and it looks slapdash, in other words, if it looks like things were put together with gum and popsicle sticks, you're not going to want to live in that place. And that doesn't make you picky. That makes you smart. You move into that place, you're in for a fucking treat. And by treat, a lot of drama that you just don't need. And even when it comes down to what we put in our bodies, not everyone is supposed to eat the same things. We all have different systems, we all have different bodies, and just because something's healthy for one person, it may not be healthy for you. So you have to be careful with that. There are a lot of people with food allergies out there and they don't even know that they're allergic to something. But they're reading articles, they're listening to the gurus about, what you should eat and this and this and that, and that may be all well and good, but you got to make sure that that's going to be healthy for you, or that diet's going to be right for you. Using myself as an example, I took one of those Everlywell tests, not sponsored, and found out I was allergic to things that get pushed for a healthy diet all the time. And I mean, mind you, I'm a healthy eater. I have some Virgo placements to thank for that, maybe. I don't know exactly what it is, but I'm very choosy about what I'm eating. Then come to find out I'm allergic to squash, which I absolutely fucking love, garlic, eggplant, chickpeas, a lot of the Mediterranean stuff that I always eat. And even the healthy diet stuff that everyone always tells you to eat, like chicken or turkey, those two meats pinged on what I'm allergic to. So just because something is healthy doesn't mean that it's always good for everybody. And so this is where I say, use that Virgo gift to listen to what your mind is telling you. Use that Virgo gift to connect with your mind, body, and spirit, because Virgo also has the gift for that, because it helps you listen to yourself. It helps you use your discretion. So that way you're not running into poor choices and you're observing what may not be good for you overall. Bringing this back to Virgo's work ethic, what type of area of life would you like to specialize in? In other words, where would you like to become an expert? The Virgo areas of your chart or your placements will show you where you can become more expert depending on the planet combination, depending on the house combination. This sign shows you where you can be more specialized. So is there something you're wanting to specialize in within your life? Everyone has something in them that's very niche. So this could be a period where you're narrowing that down to see exactly what that might be for you. And this combined with the Virgo energy helps us work on our craft. It helps us get better on our craft. It helps us practice. It helps us put in those long hours. So that way when we're ready to present, we are nice and polished and we know our shit. And this could be any area of life. It doesn't have to necessarily be career. It could be anything that you're looking to specialize in and become more expert in, whether it be for just yourself, whether it be for your family and friends, or your business, or your particular career or field that you're going into or are currently in. So use this Virgo energy to polish up the rough edges and improve your life overall. Let's look at these transits and see what we can expect from this lunation. As a reminder, don't forget to like and subscribe because it helps this channel grow. And if you'd like to support the work of this channel, you could do so by buying me a fresh cup of coffee. There's a link in the description box below. Transit-wise, this moon is making some heavy alignments. We do have some sweet spots, but for the most part, we've got some heavier energies going on at the time of this lunation. The moon is conjunct the sun as it always is at new moons. New moons is when the moon is between the sun and the earth. So it creates this conjunction, which obscures the moon's light, which is why we don't see new moons like we would a full moon because there's no light reflected. This moon is making squares to Jupiter and Mars. And if this was only Jupiter, it would be different because with squares with moon, the moon, the sun, and Jupiter. They could be obnoxious, but they're not super heavy. Sometimes it's just about going overboard, which we could find ourselves going overboard. Even though Virgo is not an indulgent sign, there could be moments where we feel impulsivity, especially with the Mars energy. So there are times when we can act on impulsivity, and there are also moments where we can have a little bit of an eruption. With Mars being there and connected with Jupiter, there could be some issues when it comes down to our tempers that we need to watch. Our tempers could be overly inflated. They can flare up pretty easily. So you want to be careful with that. Although Mars and Jupiter are in harmonious connections with one another, Jupiter is an expander, and with Mars connecting to the moon the way it is and connecting to the sun, we may need to check our egos and make sure that we're not coming off cocky. We need to make sure that we're not getting our feathers ruffled easily by other people, or we're learning how to let things roll off our back because our tempers can be extra triggery. Again, there was that emotional sensitivity popping up, and there was that solitude energy, so it could be easy to get into arguments and disputes with people. So something to be mindful about. The chart ruler Mercury is also making a lot of complicated alignments. Transit-wise, Mercury is making connections to Venus, the lunar nodes, Uranus, and Neptune. So this could have a lot to do with communication issues in relationships, overthinking in relationships, not being exactly responsible when it comes down to our finances, not being very honest about certain things with its connection to Neptune, or being confused and blurry about what's what when it comes down to our relationship and finances. So there could be a layer of just a bit of deception, a bit of confusion, a bit of just not understanding what's going on, or again, being erratic and doing impulsive things with Uranus being in the mix of this. So try to be aware of the way you're communicating today, because things can slip out. Loose lips can happen on this day with this energy, especially with Mercury connecting to Uranus in the way it is. There could be some unexpected communication and contacts that you're not wanting. There could just be a lot of unexpected things relationship-wise, finance-wise, and resulting in having to set firmer boundaries with others. Luckily, the chart ruler Mercury is making connections with Mars and Pluto. Mars and Pluto definitely saved the day on this one, and it saves the day in the sense where if you are feeling frustrated and aggravated with everything that's going on, at least you will have the motivation to get things done. At least you'll feel pumped to get things done. Even during a stressful period, you'll at least feel driven to fix things that need to be resolved. This also actively helps us seek out better coping skills if there's been something that's been bothering us, if we've been experiencing trauma, if we need to transform on certain things or transform the way we react to things. This could be very helpful in that sort of way. And this could be a good time for researching ways, again, for self-improvement, researching how to have better coping skills, but overall researching things to better yourself so that way you have a brighter future. Anyway, I hope you all have the best new moon in Virgo ever. Later, guys.